Hey, welcome in. Beantown Breakdown, presented by Boston Sports Syndicate, episode 8. The boys are back. Nick, Alley, Andrew Parker with you. Andrew, I'm back in Milwaukee. I'm depressed. I'm hoping this can cheer me up today. Not gonna lie.
I'm holding down the Commonwealth without you. It's a weird feeling, but
Is it though? Is it? Does it feel different? Does it feel
kind
a little
of
bit
actually?
different?
I feel like we lost a soldier out there, so I don't know. It's a little different, but you're not missing much. It's just overcast and cold today, so
It's sunny here, but freezing. So I don't know what I'd rather have. I mean, it's like colder than Massachusetts. Let me make that clear.
you know what actually has been the most depressing part about this week
What's been the most depressing part about this week?
is well, obviously the Patriots lost.
Mhm.
And obviously they got blown out, but I think the worst part about it is the mainstream Boston media just absolutely saying some outlandish things.
I heard they've been terrible.
It's been like, though, like growing up, you're living here like your whole life, that like there's certain personalities on Boston radio and TV that
do not shout out Felder like that. Are you kidding me?
I would never. I would
Yeah.
never say that. But yes, that absolutely will just say the most outlandish things, and then obviously after a loss, it multiplies by like 20. So
Horrible.
We've been dealing with that this week.
I can only imagine. I've heard some things. I'll bring those up in a second. But good news. Good news here for the podcast. We're on iTunes now, Apple Podcasts. So I got to make that announcement early in the show. Just got on there. So now, if you guys don't have Spotify, you can go listen to us over there. We're basically everywhere you get your podcast now. You can also view the video on
Anywhere
YouTube.
possible.
Literally. I mean, we're all over the web right now. It's crazy. We're popping off. So make sure you go check us out there. Hit us with a follow on Apple Podcasts. Rate the podcast, comment, do whatever you must. We really appreciate it. But anyway, let's get back onto a depressing subject here. The New England Patriots. I've heard from people back home that a lot of guys on Boston Sports Radio have been saying trade Mac Jones.
Yeah, that was literally what I was going to go straight
hearing?
to. Yes, I tuned in. I don't know why. I don't know what I was doing, but I tuned in like probably Tuesday, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I didn't listen Monday because I was like, wouldn't even bother tuning in on Monday right after the game. But yeah, first thing I hear is should the Patriots trade Mac Jones? And I'm just like, what the heck is going on here? Like,
it's awful.
Dude, he's a rookie. Like I mean, I'm just gonna say the obvious stuff, but it's like I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe I was hearing that.
This is the thing. It's crazy too. Let's not forget, it was a terrible loss. Okay, Saturday was horrible. I mean,
It was bad. Yes,
there's nothing worse than watching the Patriots get pieced by 30 points and then waking up the next morning and hopping on a flight out of Boston. The airport, the vibes in the airport were just terrible. All right, like if it was a Patriots win, I was expecting people to be celebrating, all this and all that. Terrible, awful. Okay. But we have to keep in mind here, I know it's tough to swallow that loss, but on the bright side, I think the Patriots did exceed expectations this year.
100%.
I mean, they did. They did do that. A lot of people didn't know what this team was going to look like. You're coming off a season where Cam Newton was awful. He just looked terrible. I don't care, like, statistically, I don't know where he ranked really, okay? But just watching it was awful. So you get a rookie QB this year, have a off-season spending spree, ton of new guys coming in. You didn't know what this team was going to look like, and I think they did just fine. I mean, they made the playoffs. Granted, it was wild card weekend, but year one of the Mac Jones era.
I think it's tough. Like, I think people just were more upset just because of who we lost to.
Yeah,
I think it's just because it's the Bills. Like, if we would have lost to the Bengals, like, would it have hurt as much? I don't know. No. I think they just didn't want to lose to the Bills again. Because I can't stand McDermott. So
No.
Seeing him have that satisfaction, that was terrible. But yeah, it's tough, right? But it's at the same time, it's like, did you really at the beginning of the season, you have a rookie QB, you're coming off a year, like you said, with Cam, and the team was awful last year. Did you really expect like Mac Jones to be as good as he was, and I don't know, to even get 10 wins, because our schedule was kind of on the easier side, which helped
Hmm.
us. But at the same time, it's like, it's a rookie QB. You never know, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I think what you got to take away from it is people were kind of going into that Buffalo game thinking the Patriots were going to win. Like a lot of people were like, okay, this could very well be an upset. Patriots have a chance in this one. I think that just tells you how good Mac Jones has been. You're going on the road in Buffalo, crazy cold temperatures. It's your first career playoff game if you're Mac Jones, and people still believe in you. I think that's something that you kind of have to look at, take the positives away from that. Ugly end of the season. The Pats didn't just get
Oh,
obliterated. I
terrible.
mean, they didn't just get obliterated. It was literally the perfect game by Buffalo. 7 drives,
Yeah, but
seven
at the same
touchdowns.
time, like the final month of the season was awful too. Like, you lose
Awful.
3 of your last 4, and then you go into Buffalo and you get destroyed there. Like, you would have, if you wouldn't have had Jacksonville right there, like, you probably could have lost a month straight. We would have made the playoffs, I guess. But I don't know. I think people may have, like, myself included, overvalued the Pats. I mean, the wins this year that they had weren't impressive.
No.
They beat Buffalo in the bad weather, and then they beat the Titans, who didn't have anybody. Um, those were their only 2 wins over playoff teams. So um, I don't know. I just think that's the story of the 2021-22 Pats, is like, they beat up on the bad teams and then lost to all the good teams. Like, they lost to the Bucks, the Cowboys, the Dolphins twice,
Hmm.
teams like that. And it's, they whooped up on the Jets, and they whooped up on Jacksonville and Houston and, like, teams like that. And I don't know. I just think that's the story. Is just like, they were pretty average. They beat the bad teams and lost to the good teams.
A little bit of an early peak too. They obviously went on an extremely gorgeous run in the middle of the season and then tailored off towards the end of the year, as you'd mentioned. So yeah, I mean, I think this team is in the right spot right now, at the very least. Mac
I agree.
Jones, yeah, I mean, he's going to have a bright future. You'd assume he's going to have a pretty decent career.
There's one issue though. I'm scared about this offseason, because they spent a lot of money in free agency last year.
Hmm.
They don't have a lot of money this year. They have like 20 million, I think, and they have to re-sign JC Jackson and, like, a bunch of other guys. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna They got to bring back JC Jackson. They have
Yeah.
to. Like, the guy is literally probably a top 5 corner in the league right now. And he's a free agent, so they don't have much money.
No.
I'm a little worried, but I'm gonna let it all be right now, because the postseason's still going. Don't know what coaches are coming back, because I think the Pats have like 4 coaches right now that are being interviewed by other teams and GMs and all that. So I don't know. I'm tapping out on the Pats right now, and wait until after the Super Bowl. And yeah.
I think too, they need a solidified wide receiver one, in my opinion. I've heard Calvin Ridley talks. Of
Which I
course,
would love, by the way.
I would love that as well. Of course, I saw on Twitter last night the classic picture that Calvin Ridley was spotted in Logan Airport with a picture of Larry Fitzgerald at a rental car check-in desk, um, which of course is the most. Anytime a free agent is associated with any Boston sports team, that picture gets thrown around on Twitter.
That meme remains undefeated.
It's one of the best. It has to be top three, and it's not two or three. It's number one. Um, I've also heard Devonte Adams in the mix, but again, I don't think New England has the money for a guy like Devonte Adams, who is going to make a pretty big paycheck in free
Oh yeah.
agency, whether that's from Green Bay or elsewhere. I don't think it's going to be New England though. Second thing, a lot of people, like I've heard murmurs. I don't think this is as crazy as trading Mac Jones. Bill Belichick calling it a career because he was outcoached on Saturday without a doubt. I know it's one
Yeah.
game and you can't really determine his career by that, but is it time for Belichick to just call it a career?
I mean, he already said he's coming back for 2022, and he's been talking about how he's excited to work with Mac for year 2 and all this. But it is cause for concern because the defense completely disappeared.
The defense
in the
was terrible.
Final month.
It was horrible.
The whole final month, it was terrible.
Terrible.
And I think he's got to take some of that blame because I think if I read correctly that it was either him or his son Steve that was calling defensive plays for for this year. So it wasn't Gerard Mayo. So I think there's definitely some fault on his side to what happened on defense. So I think he needs to address that because you're never gonna be able to compete with Josh Allen if you have a defense that, like you said earlier, they literally just had a perfect game against your defense. You couldn't make one stop at the entire game. You could have had, I'm even going to I saw this too. You could have had Brady, 07 Brady and that offense and still would have lost because of the defense literally not getting a single stop.
It was terrible. It was the most frustrating thing I've ever seen in my life. And I have seen some frustrating things in my life, but believe me. Okay.
Yeah, you're a Celtics guy. You always see this.
Exactly. I just mean life in general too, man. Like just awful things. Like not even major things anymore. Just like the type of things where it's like you're sitting in the Dunkin' drive-thru and the person in front of you is taking like 40 minutes. You need to be somewhere, Just stuff like that. Like the day-to-day things.
Okay.
That really frustrates me. It's not even anything major. It's just like those mixed in with the massive catastrophic events of life creates this storm, this just terrible storm, Yeah, but you gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with it.
You do. It's I don't even have anything else. Like that was so hard. Like, did you want to turn that game off at halftime?
Yes, obviously.
I did too. I literally was sitting on my couch with my girlfriend, and I said, I don't even think. I mean, there really was no reason to watch the second half. Like, no. I know that like the Pats have come back 23, blah blah, but it's different team. And I don't know. I literally was like, once it was 14-0, my heart kind of just was like, you know what? We lost. It's only 14 points, but like, there's no way this is happening. Like, there's no way.
I mean, I knew we were in trouble when I think it was like late in the third quarter or the fourth. And it was whatever. We had 10. New England had 10 points, and you're down by like 20 at that point, if not more. And I knew it was bad when it's that late in the game and Nick Folk has 40% of your points. Like that's how I knew it was the end. I was like,
you could kind of tell. I mean, the Mac Jones interception early was like, oh, that guy just picked off like an insane. Like that guy was. I think it was Poyer.
Wasn't it Hyde?
Hyde, the over the shoulder pick, in the end zone. Like I'm like, whatever, right? Like that. It was it wasn't a bad shot to take right there. And he just made a really good play. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like we were still in it. It was only 7-0. And so I'm like, I still had hope. But then after they scored that touchdown, and then we went out, and I think we turned the ball over. It's like, yeah, it's pretty much toast.
Yeah. Pat season all over. I don't even know what week we started recording in, but we got some pretty good coverage on the team this year. Sure, more stuff will come out in the off season as we record more, but it's been fun covering the back half of the season, even though we didn't really get all that much positive reinforcement from this team. But it's the Pats.
It might have been the bad luck because I don't even remember when we first started recording, but I think it might have been like when we started losing. Was it the Colts week?
I have no idea. I think it was before that. Can you hear these? Can you hear these trucks outside my window?
Nope.
No, sweet, dude. It's so loud out here. Like you have no idea. I'm on like a main, obviously downtown Milwaukee, but like just a main street. And it's just so loud.
Hey, I'm here in the People's Republic of Cambridge, and I live in a construction site. So
that's horrific.
all I hear is beep, 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 like every every second of the day. So
It's all like, dude, the thing that's weird, the thing I don't understand is they're building a new building here on Marquette's campus. For people that don't know, I go to Marquette. I don't know if I've ever even mentioned that on the show here, but they're building a new business building like across the street from my apartment. And they did nothing on it all summer, right? Zero. Or it appeared that they did nothing all summer. As soon as school starts, as soon as the weather gets bad, these guys are out there like 9 to 12 hours a day, grinding away on this thing. And it's like, are you kidding me? This couldn't be a summer job, you know? I don't get it.
you would think.
You think it would. And then Jimmy John's, right across the street from me as well, was going through renovations. Again, no work during the summer. As soon as school opens up, they start the renovations, close down the Jimmy John's. That's where I get a lot of my dinner, man.
Hey, I'm a big Jimmy John's guy, so
It's
I'm with you.
Very underrated,
Oh, yeah.
I think. Big Jimmy
There needs
John's
to be
fan.
more in Mass, by the way.
There's not a lot in Mass. Not
the
a lot in
closest
Mass.
one to me is in Waltham, and it's like, what the hell's going on here?
Oh God. Tired, man. No, not a lot in Mass. They still got D'Angelo's out there.
Never had D'Angelo's.
Man, that's the spot right there. D'Angelo's very underrated as well. I don't know how it is nowadays. I probably haven't been to a D'Angelo's in like 6 or 7 years, if not 10. But that used to be the spot when I was a kid, man. Massachusetts-based
D'Angelo's a
company.
North Shore spot.
I don't even know. I
I
was hitting it. I was hitting it. I was hitting Kelly's roast beef.
Oh yeah, love Kelly's.
No, yeah, I was hitting D'Angelo's in Central Mass. So
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I was
they got
thinking
him
of
out
Kelly's.
there, man. You're probably thinking of Kelly's, yeah.
Kelly's is pretty fire, but it's only North Shore, I guess. But
Look at this. We got a little bit of culture talk in the middle of the episode. That's beautiful. A little bit of unexpected restaurant chain talk. Nothing like it.
I don't mind it. I have noticed one thing about Mass in general is compared to other spots in the United States, there are less and less chains around than like any other city you go to. Like you go to like Houston, Dallas, St. Louis, like Chicago, like any of those, like, and even in the suburbs, there is like a ton of chain restaurants, like fast food places. Here, it's like more. We've noticed it's like more local, like less like, like less Jimmy John's, less like, those type of places, and more like local spots, which isn't
quality.
a bad thing at all.
Yeah, I'm quality, not quantity, baby. That's the Mass way.
I agree. It's just it's weird because we were like, I remember thinking, I was like, oh, we'd love to just get some Jimmy John's, like that would be great. And I looked, I'm like, wow, there isn't a Jimmy John's within like 25 minutes, and I live in Cambridge. There's a lot of like stuff around. So I was like, that's crazy. Like normally the closest Jimmy John's in Missouri is like 5 minutes away.
It's literally absurd. Like, yeah, you don't really get that chain stuff. Like nowhere in Mass, at least out by me, like in the Worcester area. Like I'm in a suburb of Worcester, obviously, but like doesn't really deliver because like the places aren't really like fast food or anything. You got to get like DoorDash or whatever, and that costs a fortune out there because whatever. But city living has its pros, has its cons, as I'm sure you know.
Yep.
And it is what it is, man. But aside from food, Celtics had won 5 of their last 6, looking a little bit better. And then last night they dropped a game to the Hornets. Hornets, a very good offensive team, but not a good defensive team in the slightest. They give up a lot of points. But Boston could only muster 102 points against the Charlotte team. Obviously, it was a return game for Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier. Rozier dropped 28. Gordon Hayward had 5. So one of those guys had a great revenge game. The other did not. Dennis Schroeder, 24 points for Boston. Jaylen Brown with 21. Tatum, 12 on 5 of 19 shooting. Again, this is a recurring issue that you and I have brought up before. Tatum just not knowing when he's cold, not knowing when to stop. And it hurt the Celtics last night. They only scored 102 points, as I had said. But interesting, as the trade deadline gets closer and closer, Celtics also made a move to get Bol and P.J. Dozier, which is I don't think going to be a long-term move. I think these are two guys that probably aren't going to have their numbers retired in Boston. Probably two guys that are going to be on the move relatively shortly. But as a trade, oh God, I can't speak. As a trade deadline approaches, Andrew, um, how big do you think Brad Stevens is going to go with this team in terms of selling guys? I mean, because I think Boston's going to be sellers at the deadline, and they've made it pretty
They
clear
got to make moves.
they have
So,
to. They made it pretty clear too that Tatum Brown and Robert Williams are kind of the only guys they're trying to protect.
which I love that, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
I did see that, and I said honestly, that would I used to be like emotionally attached to Marcus Smart. I used to like be one of the biggest Marcus Smart like fans around, and I knew a lot of people wanted him traded over the past couple of years. They're like, we got to trade Smart, got to trade Smart, got to trade Smart. I was like very attached to Marcus Smart, but that's kind of dwindled away a little bit. I've kind of leaned towards Robert Williams now as my guy. But which Robert Williams, I think will, like you said, he's one of the three that they're trying not to get rid of. And I think that deal for him, like that's a very good deal that he's on for the season anyway. So I've kind of transitioned to Robert Williams, and I obviously agree with not ever trading Brown or Tatum. So
kind of a quick jump, no? By you?
What do you mean?
Going just like kind of leaving Marcus like that, going to Rob?
Yeah, I like Marcus Smart a lot.
Does your girlfriend know about these tendencies? I mean,
she doesn't, but
you gotta keep that on the down low.
I've always had a thing though for Rob Williams. Like I watched him in high school,
it's
man,
getting
or
weird
in
now,
college.
man.
So
It's getting
like
weird now.
seeing him in person in college, like, and then once they drafted him, I think it just kind of was like, hey, I literally have told you this before. I saw Rob Williams swat a ball at Mizzou versus Texas A&M into like the seventh row of the student section, like with force. Like that was seeing it in person. You're like, wow.
So
like,
hear me out. You're in downtown Boston with your girlfriend, right? You walk by.
I don't want to know what this is.
No, listen. You walk by a pickup game, okay? And there's a girl on the other team. There's a girl on one of the teams, okay?
Oh God.
See another player going up for a layup. This girl swats a ball with force, okay? Are you leaving your girlfriend right there, right then, for this girl who just swatted a ball with force?
Depends.
Okay. Okay.
As long as it's not like Brittany Griner, I'm okay.
All right.
I can't be with somebody that's taller than me. That's like a big no can do.
How tall are you? Like you're like what, 6'1", 6'2"?
6'1", yes, that
6'1"?
is accurate.
So we'll say she's 5'9".
I can't have this conversation right now.
This is probably gonna be the social media clip too.
I can't have it.
She's gonna see this on TikTok, be flabbergasted.
We gotta move on. So I will say though that my least favorite player in the NBA, I think as far as I can remember, the player I hate the most, and I'm using hate. I don't really like saying hate, but the player I hate the most in the NBA was playing last night in the Celtics Hornets game, and I can't stand him.
Hold on, are you not a LaMelo guy? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, it's not LaMelo. I like LaMelo. I think he's fun to watch.
Were you a Plumlee?
What?
A big
such like a
hater?
random guy to like not like that Plumlee guy. There's like 3 of them in the league, I think. So
man, I'm trying to think. Who could you hate here? Is it Rozier?
No, I love Scary Terry.
Okay. All right, good. Is he got to be on Charlotte, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let me look at the box score again.
It's not that hard. He played like meaningful minutes last night.
I think I know. Is it Oubre?
Dude, I cannot stand Kelly Oubre. I cannot stand Kelly Oubre. By the way, this whole like Slim Shady thing he had going on last night. What is he like? It's either like he's going for like 8 Mile gone wrong, or he's like, I want my hair to look like Dennis Rodman as much as possible.
Dude, listen, man. I'm a big Kelly Oubre guy. I'm not kidding.
How? How did you're telling me when the Celtics and the Wizards were like going toe to toe, and Kelly Oubre was on that team, just being a punk? You
And
liked?
he pushed Olynyk. You remember
Yeah.
that?
How can you push the clinic like that?
I have a great story about that. I was at the game after that game. Or I don't know if that was game 1 on the road or game 2 on the road. I was at the next home game following that game. And I went with a couple of my friends. If they're listening right now, shout out to them. Brian Solis, B Souls on YouTube, makes great content. Go check that out. And Sean Langren. Sean, if you're listening, how's it going, man? We got to hit another game soon, as well as you, B Souls. So we had pretty good seats. Did we have good seats? No, I think we were in the nosebleeds. But before the game, wait, no, we might have had good seats. I think we were in the Loge. We had Loge seats for this game.
Oh yeah, and the Loge.
I forget. We were in the balcony for Celtics Cavs Eastern Conference Finals game 1. But for this game, we had good seats. So before the game, while there were warm-ups, we went down like as close as you could go to the court. And I had made a sign, okay, that said, Kelly Oubre eats cereal with no milk. All right. And I was holding it up. And Celtics were doing their layup lines, and Olynyk was in the layup line. And I was like, guys, we got to get Kelly Olynyk to see this sign. So we are screaming Kelly Olynyk's name. And he notices us, which probably wasn't too hard because we were the only 3 guys screaming Kelly Olynyk's name, you know? And he looks at the sign and you see him like he pauses, right? And we see him reading it, and then he laughed. And it was the funniest thing ever. Like, we don't have it on video. I wish we had it on video because we like didn't expect it. We didn't expect him to notice us. But it was amazing. And that is the bond I have with Kelly Olynyk. But no, aside from that whole scenario, I have grown to respect Kelly Oubre because makes the most of his minutes. I think he'd be like a great piece to have on the Celtics because like he provides valuable bench play. He's a good player, man. He is a very good player.
I mean, we already kind of have a Kelly Oubre and Marcus Smart. Like they kind of play the same
No,
way.
no. I think Oubre's scoring is much more efficient than Smart. You know,
I'll give you that.
As a scorer, I'd rather have Oubre than Smart. Defender, Smart any day.
I really don't like the guy. I didn't like him when he was on Washington. He was always that guy that just pushed your buttons, which I guess is like every team would love to have. But like Marcus Smart plays kind of on the edge sometimes. Like, hey, he's pushing the buttons. Like, but man, like Kelly Oubre, like I can't stand him. And maybe it did start with the clinic thing, but I don't know. Like I saw him last night and I completely forgot about him because I haven't seen him play in forever.
Can't forget about Oubre, man. Cannot forget about Oubre.
I watched him play last night and I'm like, okay, first of all, Eminem's out there playing basketball. That's kind of cool. And then second of all, I was like, oh, that's Kelly Oubre. He's literally trying to just be like Dennis Rodman now.
The thing too, like, listen, I know Oubre is like that. That's his style of play. You do not know how many, like, when I was in high school, like, I'd be watching a C's game or something, or, you know, we'd be talking about sports at the table, and, like, you know, girls would overhear us or whatever, or they'd be sitting at the table with us, and, like, the only player they knew was Kelly Oubre.
Really?
On a team other than the Celtics, because Kelly Oubre is, like, the most gorgeous man in the NBA.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man. Like,
all right.
From all the information I put together, okay, the top 3 names that have come up are like Oubre. A lot of girls I know love Tatum. I mean, that's a big one. And then Alex Caruso sitting at number 3. Most attractive man in the league is Alex Caruso, no doubt.
So you're just forgetting like the man rocking himself, Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic, dude, he is like he got bigger, he got fatter, man.
He's still a stud.
Absolute stud. And he's not as bad. Like Zion is in terrible shape right now.
How many girls out there are like just freaking out over Giannis too? Like I feel like a lot of girls like Giannis.
Giannis is like I would imagine what girls see as like husband material, you know?
I would say that would probably be like Steph Curry. I feel like that
Steph?
is like, yeah, or like Steph is like yeah, I see girls freaking out over Klay Thompson. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Giannis is wholesome too, you know? He's like a wholesome dude.
I do like Giannis.
I yeah, I don't know, man. Like as a person, I like him, but it's hard to see him play
I
just because
can't believe you actually just called Luca fat.
he's not fat, dude. He's just husky. You can't tell me Luka Doncic isn't husky. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, the
So you're
dude
saying
is.
he used to be pretty small.
Yeah, I think he's definitely gotten huskier.
You're telling me Luca's only 22 years old?
Yeah, dude. He's almost 23, isn't he?
Yeah, his birthday's next month. But wow.
Yeah, Luka's husky. Everyone like has no problem being like, "Yo, Zion Williamson looks terrible. He's huge now." Like no one has any issue saying that. But like no one's talked like Luka looks huskier. Like I was watching the
I
Mavericks
think it's
play the
because
other night.
Luca's actually playing right now, and he's averaging 25 a game. Like Zion is not playing right now,
No.
and I remember I was literally listening to the ESPN broadcast yesterday, and I think they were talking about him, and they were kind of like, they're like, "What's Zion up to?" or something, and I forgot like Doris Burke or something. It was like so random because they were talking
Hmm.
about the Celtics last game.
Against the Pelicans.
Yeah, against the
Yeah.
Pelicans. And they were like, "Oh, the Celtics coming off a win against the Pelicans. Obviously, no Zion was playing or something." And Doris Burke was like, "Yeah, like what's Zion up to these days?" And I forgot who the other guy was on there, but I thought somebody was just like, he's who knows? He's just looking big, like behind the bench every game or something. I'm like, geez, like, but he's like in Portland or something, like trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
I don't even know, but maybe. And then I heard it, I think, when we played the Pelicans, they were like, yeah, he's up in Portland, like trying to lose weight and like recovering from surgery and all this. And I'm just like, geez, like people are throwing this guy like through the mud.
It's ruthless. It is ruthless.
That's why I don't think you see anything about Luca, because he's like, he's playing every night. He's averaging 25. Like, I don't know. It's I think if Zion was like playing and like playing well, I don't think anybody would say anything.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, anyway, interesting to see what the Celtics do as the deadline approaches. Maybe Oubre to Boston. Who knows? I don't think so,
I
but
would literally
I'm sure you'd love
want
that.
no that trade anybody you want and trade for anybody you want. Like, I'll take a starting five with Bol and uh whoever. I don't even care who else, but it's not gonna be Oubre.
Man, the ladies love Oubre. They do. They do. You can't deny it. It is what it is. Your Bruins, Andrew. Tough loss the other night against Carolina. Kind of a blowout, to say the least.
I was gonna ask you if you saw the chirp fest between the Carolina Hurricanes and Brad Marchand.
I did not see it.
It was honestly, it was kind of funny. So Brad Marchand actually posted on Instagram a picture which he deleted like an hour later, but there's a guy in the Canes, Vincent Trocheck, who's having like a pretty decent year. He's like second line center or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody in the Canes media asked him on the night before the game against the Bruins Canes game, and they asked him, they're like, "Wow, you're playing a lot better this year. I would say some people are resembling your play like Brad Marchand." And he's like, "Did you just call me a rat?" was his reply. It's because people call Marchand a rat.
Mm-hmm.
So Marchand posts a picture on Instagram of, this is like, his caption was, "This is like comparing a Lamborghini to a Prius." Or a Prius to a Lamborghini, and he posted literally the stats for Marchand Trocheck, and Marchand has like 500, 600 more points than Trocheck. So he's pretty much calling Trocheck a Prius and Brad's a Lambo. So that happened. He deleted it, but obviously it kind of circled around the hockey world a little bit on Twitter. And then the game happened. We got absolutely slaughtered. And then the Hurricanes, Twitter account is literally going nuts, and they still are. They're going absolutely crazy on Boston, like just the whole city.
It always comes back to the city, you know.
Yeah, so they are still going nuts, and it's like
You look frazzled. I've never seen you look this like frazzled.
because it's like look, so they just tweeted 16 minutes ago, right? Our Twitter bio, and so Marchand, so they posted the final score against the Bruins, and then they put L stands for Lamborghini, making fun of Marchand, and then he put the Carolina Hurricanes are responsible for 20% escrow in the contract. It was their fault, so the players kind of like weren't too happy with them. And so he tweeted at them when the final score was, and they literally have it in their Twitter bio right now. So I don't know.
There's a lot of beef going on, a lot of substance there.
And then I don't know if you saw also the picture that they freaking posted as well after the game, but it says rough few days in Beantown. It's still up. They tweeted it on the 18th, and they posted a final score of the Canes Bruins. Then they posted the final score of the Bills Pats, and then they posted the memes of Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette, and then when he's got all the Dunkin' in his hand. And I'm just like, dude, you gotta be like.
I will say that is my. I don't know if you can see that. That is my. Jesus. God. It's my phone background. You can't really see it on the video.
They posted that. That's one of the pictures they posted. So
it's a great picture, to be honest. And it accomplishes
Boston. I don't understand like where Carolina has all this like rage towards Boston, but has Carolina even ever like been relevant in any sports? Like I can't remember the last time the Panthers made it to the Super Bowl, I guess, with Cam, but they got slaughtered.
Yep.
The Hurricanes haven't won, like they won the cup in like 2005, but it's like we've won the cup more recently than they have. And then I don't know,
2011, right?
Yeah, and they won in 2005, so it's like. So they can't really say anything there. The Patriots obviously won way more than the Panthers, and then I don't know the Hornets. When have the Hornets won?
Hey, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I just don't understand. I don't get it. Like it's weird to me that we lost one regular season game and they are like attacking.
Hey, it's gonna be all right, man. It's gonna be
throwing
fine.
the Bills into this too. It's like, yeah, we lost to the Bills. That has nothing to do with Carolina. I don't know. I was triggered, I guess.
Hey, it's gonna be all right, man.
I was a little triggered.
It's okay. It happens, Just gotta pick yourself up, move on. All right.
I was a little triggered about it.
No, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. How you feeling about this team, though? I mean, because they were playing well before that loss, and they were looking really, really good, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they've been like they were the hottest team in hockey before that loss, so you can't really be too mad at it because.
Well, it seems like you were.
I was mad at Carolina, not mad at the loss. Carolina's a good team too. Yeah, it was a bad loss, but they're gonna probably go on a deep run. Carolina is in the playoffs, so I'm not as mad about the loss, just about like them trying to throw shade. But yeah, I think they're gonna be okay. I think the people freaking out about Tuca just because he had a bad game. I don't know. It'll get better. So I have high hopes. I don't know. I was just triggered from Carolina, but yes.
High hopes from Andrew Parker. Always good to see him being optimistic. We're going to go to the final segment of our show, which is a fun one today. We got a guest coming on. My roommate from Illinois. We'll introduce him in just a second. Stand by for a couple seconds. We'll give you a little cool sound, intro into this new segment, and we'll catch you very soon. All right, welcome to our segment. We got Tom, the Big Cheese Maugeri, joining us. Tom, tell the viewers a little bit about where you're from.
We're from Illinois. We're about an hour south of Chicago. We're apparently the way we talk is a bit different from you Massachusetts folk. So let's see what we got here.
Can
We're
I
gonna-
ask why his nickname is the Big Cheese?
Why is yeah, go behind. Let's hear the story.
Listen, the big cheese does not describe how he got his nickname unless you are a cheeselet, which is, Nick's a cheeselet. We had a friend Mira that's a cheeselet. You got to be in the circle to understand the nickname. So, maybe
All
one day
right,
we'll
guess
get
we
there,
had to be
Andrew.
there.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not even sure how it came about.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know either. It just kind
We're
of stuck.
sticking with it. The big cheese. We got 12 words for you that have to do with Massachusetts, either Massachusetts slang or Massachusetts features, I suppose. Things that are commonly said in the state. We're going to see if you nail these. Hopefully you do. You'll probably get some of them just because living with me for 4 years. But let's go. All right. First one for you is pocketbook. What is a pocketbook?
What did you say? Pocketbook?
A pocketbook. P-O-C-K-A book.
That's not a word.
Oh, it's a word.
It sounds like you're saying pocketbook, which is like a checkbook.
So is checkbook your final answer?
Pocketbook? Oh, sounds like a cockadoodle. Isn't that like a dog though?
That sounds like a dog breed. I'll give him that.
Pocket. I don't know. Pocketbook. P-O-C-K-A book.
Yes.
I'm going with checkbook.
Checkbook is close. It is another word for a woman's purse.
Oh, okay. That's pretty.
He
good.
was
That's
pretty. He was
close.
pretty close on that. All right, we'll go number 2. This one's a pretty easy one. A packy.
A packy?
Used it the other
Yes.
day.
Oh yeah, a liquor store, right?
Yep, super easy. Like there
Very
you
nice.
go. I
Yeah.
like it.
I got beef with that though, Nick, because you said that the other day, and we've never once referred to a liquor store as a packy in Illinois.
I mean, it's the ways of the world.
It up over there.
Nick, I want to take the third one, so you can take the fourth because I don't like the fourth, and you're
Okay.
taking the fifth because it's not my thing.
Okay, fair. All right.
All right. Third one. What is a bureau?
A bureau, like the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
You know what? I'm in the same boat as you. So what would you think a bureau is?
like a corporation or something.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer, yeah.
It's a freaking dresser.
No, it's not.
See that thing behind you? That is a bureau.
That's a bureau
apparently.
behind you.
You know what?
That's
I'm
not a
with
bureau.
you because I've never heard that before until like a couple weeks ago, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to IKEA to go get a bureau." So the hell is that? It is a
What?
dresser. I had zero idea.
I think you guys are just making stuff up and just.
No, I thought he was making it up too, because I'm like, you realize the FBI is like the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and he's like, yeah, but I had to go buy a bureau. It's like I don't even understand.
No.
It made zero sense to me.
That's-
These are all very
No.
real things, folks. All right.
No,
These
they're
are all
not.
very real things. The next one, we'll give you 2 clues here. Bang a Yui / make a Yui.
That's a U-turn.
All right, perfect.
That was the easiest one on here.
That's
I
not
think
a
that
mass term.
I
That's
think
like
That
that
is
one's-
not, I tried to tell him it wasn't.
that's a
master.
worldwide term.
I guess
is
it's
a-
worldwide. I just know it's said commonly in mass. It's on the list though.
It's
It's on the
commonly
list.
everywhere.
I agree.
We'll keep it on. I mean, it's softball. It's a softball there. Right? Bureau's a tough
Okay,
one.
alright.
We match it with.
I guess
make a
after,
Yui.
yeah. All right, that's fine.
You want me to take this one too, Parker? Huh?
Yes, because it's
Alright.
gonna be another like duh.
All right. What is market basket?
Market basket,
Mhm.
like a, I don't know, like a thing where you go to the grocery store, you get a basket maybe, and you put it in there. Something like that.
I mean, it's very close.
That's my final guess. I've
Okay.
actually never heard that one.
It's actually just a grocery store. So you had grocery store in there.
A market basket is a grocery store.
By the way, there is a market basket in the state of Illinois. I know this. In my girlfriend's hometown, there is literally a market basket in Illinois.
Wait. It's the name of a grocery store?
Yeah. Yes.
It's a chain, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. That's different.
All right, I got one for you. I'm nervous. Nips.
Yeah. You got to be very careful with this one. It's definitely not what you think it is.
Nips.
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 Oh.
Oh boy.
Okay.
It's not what I think it is. So it's not.
Yeah, it's not the actual thing, but
I don't know. We got cheese nips in Illinois. That's like a cheese it.
Cheese nips are good.
I do love those nips. Nips, like maybe if it's really cold outside, you're like, hey, guy, it's nips out here. I'm gonna say cold. Nips is cold.
All right, that's final answer.
Final answer.
I guess. Do you call them? It's literally like a little thing of alcohol, like a shooter. What do you call
that
those?
nips? I call that a shooter.
I call it a shooter too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like people here call them nips, and I'm like, that is sus.
Man, so
It's a shooter. It's 100% a shooter. I'm with you on that one.
Jesus.
Hey, guy, it's really cold outside. It's nips. Okay.
Did you talk to your grandma? Yeah, she said it's nips outside, kid. That makes more sense to me, I think.
I can see
You know,
that
that's
one. It's a
fair.
shooter.
We need to get that slang going. All right, next one is the pike. What is the pike referring to?
The pike or a pike?
The pike.
The pike. That changes things. The pike.
What's
The
a normal
pike.
pike for you?
You want me to answer that truthfully? Because I'm a big Star Wars nerd, and there's a group of people called the Pikes in Star Wars. That's what I first thought of. That's my inner nerd.
It's definitely not that, Matt. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's let's see, the Pike. Like a highway or something, maybe?
Ooh.
We got to give them that.
I'll give him
Yeah?
that all day.
We're giving you that. It refers
Yeah?
to the Mass Pike, which is a highway. So
It's literally
Alright.
a highway that runs straight through downtown, pretty much. So,
Take
We'll
it.
give you
Big
that one.
win.
all
what
right.
we got?
This
1, 2, 3.
this one should be pretty easy.
Number 8.
A clicker.
Oh, it's a remote.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, easy
Yeah.
money.
Again, another easy one here. Rotary.
Like short for Rhode Island or something?
Not.
A rotary. That sounds really familiar, but I don't think I could. A rotary. Let's see. Yeah, I got nothing for this one. A rodeo that's on the move. I don't know.
It is what you guys refer to as a roundabout.
Roundabout.
You guys call it a rotary.
A rotary.
Yeah, they're everywhere here too, by the way. Like there is rotaries every like 10 seconds in Cambridge. So
That sounds terrible. I've hit maybe 3 roundabouts in my entire life.
yeah, my girlfriend said the same thing. She grew up in Illinois, went to college in Peoria. She was like, I've never driven through this many in my entire life. Wild stuff. All right. Southie.
Southie?
Yes. Southie.
South, IE, right?
Correct.
Someone from the south of Mass? South of Boston.
Ooh, okay.
Very nice. Very nice.
So yeah, it refers to somebody, or it's even like an area. Like you can call somebody like you can call somebody a Southie kid, or you can literally call it it's an area too, Southie in Boston. But you're right, South Boston.
I'm giving him a half point on that. That one.
I am too. That was pretty good.
That's pretty good, right? Yeah.
Next one I think is also relatively universal.
It's universal.
A townie.
Oh, hey, I'm one of those people that don't leave their freaking hometown. They just go to the bars and they just stay there all day long. It's a lot of fun.
There we go.
So yeah, that one. All right, this one may or may not get. It's the T.
Like the Boston Tea Party.
It's just
Like-
the T.
The T.
The T.
I mean, I guess gossip is what I think of. What's the
like
T?
sipping the
Chris?
tea?
This one is. This might help him. This one is just the and then capital the letter T.
T.
Not TEA.
Oh,
just a capital letter
just
T.
Just the T. Oh. The T. The train.
We're giving him points for that.
It's just
Yeah?
like the L in Chicago. It's the T here.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Let's
Yeah.
tally up the
I
scores
figured
here.
he knew what the L was.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate trains.
I'm
but yeah.
surprised I knew what the L was, to be honest. But
Yeah, right.
Look at this. 6.5 out of 12.
What?
Wow.
I thought I was way higher than that. Who's keeping score?
I don't know. You were pretty. You didn't know what. Yeah, you. It was about 6.5.
Rotary stumped me, but I want to know exactly which ones I did not get points for. That is BS.
Pocketbook was a no.
A bureau.
A bureau.
Yeah, no market basket.
Market basket.
Fair.
You struggle with nips.
Big struggle with the nips.
I've always struggled with nips. It's just not my thing. I don't know.
Dear God, that one's getting us right off Apple Podcasts. Rotary as well.
Yeah, that one was tough.
Then we give you a half point for Southie.
All right. Whatever.
I would have given him that, but
6.5 to 7 out of 12, which is pretty good. All things considered.
That's not bad.
all right. Got 6.5 out of 12. We're gonna have you on either next week or the week after. We're gonna give you we're gonna show you map and we're gonna show you the towns. So you're gonna have to pronounce them. If you pronounce them, you get a point, right? So that's our next segment.
Oh God, that's gonna be. I'm gonna need to drink for that.
That's a good one right there.
You're not gonna have to drink for that segment because then we will get closed down easily. This is a family-friendly show.
I'm gonna sound stupid after I do that one. Oh boy.
You'll be fine. I'll coach you through them.
Nick, I still can't even pronounce your town. I've known you for 4 years.
That one will be on the quiz, so just study up.
Oh yeah.
That's what it's all about. But the Big Cheese making his debut on Beantown Breakdown. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun. I sounded idiotic at times, but it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on. We'll see you next week, and we'll go back to the show now just to wrap things up. And thanks for tuning into this segment with the Big Cheese. And we're back. He did a decent job. Pretty proud of that. But hope you enjoyed the new segment. It was a fun one. We'll probably have him on again, and he's going to be a little recurring guest. So we'll see him in the future. But Andrew, closing thoughts. Do you have anything? We always got to end the show on your strong points here.
Yeah. Long, dark, cold, depressing off season for the Patriots.
All right. That wasn't positive at all. But
wasn't, but that's just the world we live in. The Celtics are still mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
That's the world we live in.
That is.
The Bruins are like slightly above mediocre, whatever. Baseball's still in a lockout. Really depressing. And
we're never doing closing thoughts with you ever again.
Yeah, no, this one wasn't good because I'm just ready for the baseball lockout to end. These can be my real closing thoughts. I'm ready for the lockout to end. I think the world is a better place when there's news from like all 4 major sports like going on. Like free agency and the MLB didn't even get a chance to really like take off because of the lockout. And it's really upsetting because we all need like more sports. Like there's never a thing as too much sports. Never. And we all love the Red Sox last year, dude. They went off. So I'm just ready for the lockout to end. And I think we're getting closer to it. I think pitchers and catchers are supposed to report in like 2 or 3 weeks. So it's
February. So
we're getting close. So they need to figure it out because I'm ready for some baseball. And that's my closing thoughts.
I am too. I'm right there with you. Warm weather, baseball. It's the best time of the year. Like when you crack those windows open.
And when you think of outside, like I think of Fenway. Like I think of like a summer night at Fenway, and it just brings me happiness. So I'm ready for it.
I need it, man, because I just know like opening day, you crack those, as I said, you crack those windows open. You got the sun coming in, feels a little bit warm. You like baseball's back. They usually have games going on throughout the day on opening day. So you get like that 1 p.m. game. You got that going on. It's like some irrelevant game. It's like Pirates Reds, but you're just happy to be watching it.
Happy to watch it because it's finally there. And
exactly.
I'm ready for the Patriots Day Red Sox game. I think it's going to be, by the way, I think that is going to be absolutely insane because we didn't have it last year, obviously. And the year before, I don't think we had it. I think it's been 2 years since we've had.
Really?
Well, we didn't have a marathon on either Monday.
I know, yeah.
Past 2 years.
It's crazy to me how long that's been kind of affected now.
Yeah. So this is going to be the first year since 2019 that the marathon is actually going to be on Patriots Day again. The marathon obviously was in October last year. So it's going to be like a really cool day for Boston. So I'm sure we'll talk about it once it gets closer because that's going to be a huge day.
Best day of the year, honestly.
I agree.
I love it. But yeah, that wraps it up. Episode 8, another one in the books. This has been a great episode. And the first one, well, we have all our episodes on Apple Podcasts, but the first one where we have recorded and will be going directly on Apple Podcasts. Everything else is kind of archived on there. All the past episodes all went through Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, but we're on Apple now. So as I said at the start of the episode, make sure to go hit us with a follow on Apple Podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We got it all now. We have it all. Everything is right down below on this beautiful border that I had to update once we got approved by Apple Podcasts, but it's updated now. Andrew's pointing to it perfectly. Go follow all those socials. Stay up to date with everything. You got exclusive content on TikTok and Instagram that you don't see on the show. Great Boston sports edits. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. They make you feel sentimental. So make sure you go check out that exclusive content. We always post clips of every episode on our socials so you can get little sneak peeks. If you don't want to listen to the whole episode, you get the sneak peeks. So make sure to go follow us there. But thank you so much for joining us on this journey. I think we're going to go above an hour again today. So the episodes are getting longer. We got more to talk about, more ideas coming out in terms of segments that we're doing, like we tried today with Tom, the Big Cheese Maugeri. So make sure you guys stay tuned for episode 9. We'll have that released in the coming week. So thank you so much once again for joining us. And as always, we'll see you guys next time.